Most language schools start from basic alphabet and all the way they progress this way. So that one is going from this side to outcome. I will go back to my theory. There are certain principles that's always going to help. Let's flip it around. Let's start from the outcome. What do you really want to achieve? Your outcome statement may be that you want to be able to go to a Greek restaurant and able to order something. That's the outcome. So now in order to learn that, what you're going to need to use 3 sentences with great mastery. Maybe through those 3 sentences are for 3 different situations. You ask for something they don't have, then you're going to need to be able to address it with a different sentence. When you set that outcome, how do you get the mastery in those 3 sentences? So now your focus is shifted from alphabet or sentence construction to the outcome. The human mind works that way. Human minds need a greed. It needs a sort of an anticipation. I'm going to get this if I do this. So the moment you start with the outcome, then if I am able to communicate these 3 sentences with the restaurant people, I'm going to get the food. I will feel happy about that. But when you start with the alphabet and syntax, mind does not get that reward. Best way to look for that outcome is how other people are doing it. So you're going to need to watch who are speaking those 3 ideal sentences. So that way you kind of get away from syntax, but you focus on outcome. That also means to learn something faster, you need to have ecosystem. Ecosystem is very important where your peers, your colleagues have to be those people who are somehow using that language in some form. You're going to need immersion. You need to be surround on those people who speak that language. Look for immersion, because if you don't immerse yourself with that kind of people, that skill is not going to stick. So you're going to need to practice a couple of times, but you can't practice all alone. Most of the time, what we do is we practice in isolation. You have to be surrounded by technology. Certain places you can use technology. For example, some people are pretty good with the audio memory. So if they are good with the audio memory, the best thing is use the technology or apps which convert those sentences to audio so that you can listen to it. So technology also comes in play a lot. Science says that if you use emotions, if you let those emotions get into your mind and pressure you, you are likely to learn faster and for much longer time. Even psychology says that only thing we remember from our childhood or throughout life, which are highly emotional. We need to make this experience emotional. How do you make that experience of language learning emotional? When you feel bad. When you're going to go and you're going to stutter, you're going to forget the words, that's the emotional loading. Emotional loading is where your mind is in a high anxiety stage and there is a lot of emotions going on in the mind. If you do it in front of mirror, you're not going to get that emotion loading. So the moment you're in an actual situation in front of people where you feel bad about not being able to pronounce those words and all sort of things, that emotion loading is going to do wonder for you to learn any language on the earth.